We'll be fine. This would be great. All right, how everyone doing? My name is Lieutenant Taylor Krabiel, and yeah, we're going to be talking about transitions from paper charts to electronic charts. Ooh, let's try. Maybe. Oh, look at that magic. All right, so while you get to know me, I highly encourage you to scan this QR code real fast. And warning, I did go a little QR code crazy. I just like QR codes. I don't know why. But this is going to be an RNC, which I'll talk about here in a second. And I'm going to blather myself while you all get that up and running. And that's a picture of me, in case you couldn't tell. So who am I? Who am I to talk about nautical charts? Well, my name is Lieutenant Taylor Krabiel. I'm in the NOAA Corps. If you don't know what the NOAA Corps is, that's okay. There's only 350 of us. We're a small sector of a uniformed service within NOAA. We fly the airplanes. You've probably heard the hurricane hunters. They're kind of like the well-known figure of us. There's also the people of us on the maritime side, and that's what side I'm on. I drive ships, and I do hydrography. If you don't know what hydrography is, that's just scanning the ocean floor and figuring out how deep it is for nautical informations. Currently, I'm the operations officer on the NOAA ship Fairweather. If you don't know what an operation officer is, that's okay. How many people here have seen Star Trek? Yeah, good. I'm also a huge Trekkie. If you've ever seen Star Trek, you've probably heard of Lieutenant Commander Data. Lieutenant Commander Data is essentially my job. You see him driving the ship all the time. I also drive the ship all the time. But you also see him doing the science all the time. I also do the science all the time. So as such, I'm thinking about nautical charts all the time on the perspective of, hey, I gotta make sure the ship is safe and I gotta drive the ship. I also think about it on the side of, okay, but I also got to update this thing and make sure it looks good. So hence why I'm here. All right, so let's get navigating. All right, so first off, what is an RNC? I'm using a weird initialism here. An RNC is a raster navigational chart, AKA paper chart, nice paper. RNCs are special. They can kind of be scanned and put onto a chart viewer. We're going to stick talking to the paper chart version because it's a lot more fun and I love them. However, as of 2025, RNC will be dead, gone. Yeah, no more. We're not making them anymore. We're moving on to electronics, hence why I'm talking to you today. So let's talk about what it's like with an RNC. Let's start first with, before I ever even get underway, before my ship even leaves a port, what is it like having to update that RNC? So first things first, when I get a brand new piece of paper, brand new chart, we have to update it to the most relevant data. So if you go down to the bottom of the RNC, you'll see down there the latest edition. Then you have to go to a separate website, actually 2 separate websites, download all the information for that chart that makes it update, and then actually manually, painstakingly go through and add in stuff. That could mean like, hey, you need to add a buoy here, and then 3 entries down. Hey, you need to get rid of that buoy, and then 3 more entries down. Add 1 more buoy in there. I only use that as an example because it's happened to me several times. This is a painstaking process, it takes a long time, and if you imagine if you're going from, let's say, Seattle to Juneau, it's a lot of charts, most of them not even American. So it takes a long time to do. Then after you're done with that, you got to put a route down. Then you got to inspect your route to make sure you didn't make a mistake like this. That's a pretty shoal area. I probably shouldn't put a track line over that, but I did that just to show you all what it's like. So then after you're done doing that, you have to now adjust it and, redraw it in. And then you also got to make sure all your charts are the largest scale charts. This is all the RNCs that are out there, or at least the ones that are left. You'll notice there's really no rhyme or reason to their size and everything. I've always heard the rumor is, there's some old mariner out there was like, all right, I have to go chart an area. All I have available to me is this paper. I guess it's going to be this big. And then we just kept on doing it that way. I've always been looking for the artifact on saying that's true, but that's what I've always heard. So you got to make sure you have the largest scale chart, because if you don't have the largest scale chart and your data is incorrect, you hit a rock and you're dead. You don't want to have to happen. All right, so once you're done doing all that, all of a sudden you get delayed sailing, you have to do it all again in a week. So as you can imagine, that's a lot of work. So let's just go ahead and use an RNC real fast. I went ahead and pre-volunteered someone. That will be our moderator today. So she's going to come up, and right here is an RNC. This is a beautiful, beautiful RNC. She's going to navigate it for us. She is going to be on a sailboat. The sailboat she's on is AB Seagull. I named that one myself. You can enjoy it. And she's currently in here. You're currently right here in Juneau. It doesn't show. All right, everyone, you have to do this on your own. That's why I gave you the RNC. All right, she's currently in Juneau. I guess we can all do this on our own. So you find yourself right now in Juneau, and all of a sudden you hear a radio call go, security, security, security. This is cruise ship NACIS, Currently in Stevens Passage, rounding Gas and Oil Channel in 15 minutes. For the ferry pier in Juneau, Alaska, all stations standing by channel 1316. And now you're thinking to yourself, where are they? And how close are they? So if you look at your chart in front of you, I have this thing really well memorized. You'll find yourself in Juneau, which is a nice little inset inside your chart. And if you zoom in there, you'll find ferry pier. So you know, hey, that's the end point that they're going to. Okay, has anyone found Gas No Channel yet? If you found Gas No Channel, go ahead and raise your hand. All right, perfect. People finding Gas No Channel. Has everyone found Stevens Passage? If you zoom out, boom, someone's already found Stevens Passage, so people are finding it pretty quickly. Perfect, good. This is good. People are finding things extremely quickly. That's the beauty of an RNC, is you can find things like that because it's nice, big label. You can zoom in, zoom out, and if you're looking at it on a piece of paper, you can sit there like this. All right, where is it? And then you'll know where everything is. All right, perfect. So, awesome. Let's move on. So, as I said before, however, RNCs are on their way out. We're moving on to ENCs now. So what is an ENC? Go ahead and you can scan this code. Like I said, I went a little QR crazy here. So what is an ENC? An ENC is an electronic navigational chart. It's based on this idea of the S57. And the best way to break down what an ENC is that it's just a geodatabase. So everyone here knows what a geodatabase is. And if you don't know what a geodatabase is, you know what Excel is. So essentially, all of our nautical charts are just a really big Excel document that you can visualize. So make it super easy for everyone. And so here it is, like if I take an ENC and I drop it into QGIS, number one, best GIS software. You drop it into QGIS, all of a sudden you can see it, and that's nothing but shape files. Really gives this idea of like what an S57 file is. So before we get underway for sailing with an ENC, what is that like? Well, it's pretty easy. You download it from one of these locations here. You can either download, as you can see up here, you can pick your chart, or you can pick big regions. So I'm working in Alaska right now on my ship, so I can just literally go in Alaska and do download. Now let's say you get that awful delayed sailing. That's fine, you just go back on there, just re-download it again. There's no updating the chart. There's no having to go through the painstaking moving buoys over and over again. So this is a major, major benefit. And then, let's say that we discover a rock. We're like, there's a rock right here. People need to know about it immediately. We can get that on the chart like that. Speed of government like that. So this information is like really good. The other thing is you can customize your ENC, so you can make it look the way you want. So if you looked at your RNC before, you'll notice that like the color scheme is kind of set. The fathoms are set. You don't get to change what your scale is in. You don't get to change any of that stuff. ENCs you do. You get to sit there and say, hey, my ship has a draft of a certain amount. I want my color scheme to reflect that. I anticipated the computer not working, so I made a PowerPoint presentation to show you that. So this is my favorite ENC of all time, Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Great place. Yes, that's right, we have an ENC there. And so you can see here on the ENC, if you click on an object, you can see the information about it. So for example, I clicked on this light here, and now I get information about it. It's a light, and it's located here in the harbor, and it's good at a 40,000 scale. Perfect. I also know exactly what chart it's from too by clicking on it. And then in the ENC, you can also customize what you're looking at. You can decide, hey, I want to see the data quality. I want to see the low accuracy. I actually don't want to see certain information. I don't know why you don't want to see depths, but let's say for some reason you decide, I don't want to see depths. You can decide not to see depths. I highly suggest you don't turn off depths. Just saying. So this is all information that you can do. It very much runs like a GIS software on your ship when you're driving around. And as you can see here, the shallow, safety, and deep. This is kind of the default 2, 30, 30. These are all in meters. So that gives you the look of Lake Tahoe up here as is. But if you decide to change it to 1, 10, and 20, it then changes the look to look like this. This lets you visually see something really quickly, rather than being like, hey, I need to look at these numbers all the time, you can be like, okay, I'm in the white space. I'm in good water. And if you're in the light blue space, you're like, I'm still in good water, but I need to be careful. And if you're in the dark blue space, you're thinking to yourself, I am aground. And if you're in the gray, if you're in anything that's not blue, that is land. So something else to point out here that you may notice is if you look at your current chart that you looked at earlier, the RNC, you'll notice all that topographic information on there. That is, that's lacking in the ENC, which is kind of disappointing. There's some other stuff that's lacking in ENC, and you'll also notice probably that it's not as beautiful as the paper chart, which is honestly the hardest struggle of working with ENCs, that they're not as beautiful. So a lot of times we'll have an ENC up somewhere like for official use, and then we'll have an RNC somewhere else on a bridge to like give us an actual beautiful look of the area. It's also a little hard to get around on the ENC. This was an exercise I was going to do, so maybe we have time to do it if I can figure out to get the computer working. But let's get, you know what, let's give it a shot. I have time, right, people? Oh, 8 minutes. Oh, this is working. Okay, cool. Let's do this then. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at what it's like to try to navigate an ENC real fast. I went ahead and grabbed another volunteer who's going to come up for me and going to help us navigate. So once again, she's on the AB Seagull, everyone's favorite sailboat, and she's currently just gone away from Gasno Channel. But unfortunately, just forgot to read the weather report, came back to the weather report, and what is it going on right now? High winds, too high of winds. Oh, it's dangerous. And they're all going to be coming from the south. That's okay. She was reading this thing called the Coast Pilot, and it said, hey, there's this place down south somewhere. It's called Young Bay. You should be safe to go there. She's like, all right, perfect. But now she's thinking to herself, I'll let you go. Now she's thinking to herself, where is it? You want to go to the third tab, yep. Fourth tab, my bad. Already giving bad directions. All right, so now she's thinking to herself, all right, first off, where is Young Bay? So now she's got to navigate going around this ENC. So as you can see, as she starts clicking around, the ENC will try to track and bring different things up. If she zooms in and out, which she'll have to do sooner or later, oh, she found Young Bay, you'll see that it updates to give you the best looking chart and anything for that zoom level, which is extremely useful for navigations. Not as extremely useful when you're in a brand new area and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I don't know where anything is. So, all right, so she's found Young Bay, and she needs to probably update so her sailboat reflects what her thing is. So I think I gave her a 5 meter information. Oh, she's first going to figure out what the data quality is like there, which I think is right there. Boom, perfect. All right, and now you'll see this. At this zoom level, it tells you, which tells you it's unsurveyed. It's surveyed. So here you can see the stars. More stars, the better. Less stars, the worse. It's pretty funny too, because the more stars, more of your data is covered up. Less stars, less of your data is covered up. You kind of want it to be, we're working on it. There's a lot of cool papers out there. So now she's got this up. Now she knows how trustworthy this area is. And then she's probably going to turn off data quality, because I'll be honest, it takes a lot of your screen. All right, so now let's go ahead and we'll look at, let's go ahead and change our color scheme. It's going to be up in the gearbox. There it is, perfect. And it's got one more depth contour meters. There you go. Perfect. Now her ship is 5 meter draft. So probably she's thinking to herself, hey, 6 meters, and I'm aground, and I don't feel comfortable. She's probably changed that to 6 for shallow. Safety, 7. 7 seems about good, right? You're in 7 meters of water. You're like, I've got 2 more meters in my keel. Anything more, and I don't like this. And then 8 for deep contour. You're thinking to yourself, hey, I can sail here all day. And then watch what happens. You hit apply. And then boom, the color scheme changes. If you zoom in a little bit more, you'll see even better. Boom. So now the color scheme has changed so that you can tell, hey, all this area in Young Bay, I'm completely safe to be in and completely safe to navigate. If you go over to the I button, obviously the ENC on the on a ship bridge, you would think is a little different than this and how you navigate it. Unfortunately, it's really not. It is still feel kind of clunky, and that's something to get used to. New tools, new technology. So if you click that I button, if you hit the little, that one right there, and you just click on that MG right there. Yep, and then you just hit MG over here. I got it. Here, I'll do it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everyone give him a clap from our assistant here. Perfect. So one of the nice things about these is that you can now go up to these and say, hey, what am I looking at here? And you can now click on your item here and say, oh, okay, what am I actually looking at? Bum, bum, bum. And then you can go through all this information in order to figure out, okay, what exactly is this item that I clicked on, if you clicked on it at all. I don't think I did. But anyways, that's going to be mud and gravel there, which tells you, hey, this is a great place to go anchor. All right, moving on. So you're probably wondering, hey, why did you give me so much information on RNCs and then try to get me to learn ENCs? And the answer is, now you know what it's like for me. And every sailor out there, we've grown up now for centuries on RNCs and paper charts, and now we've been thrown a computer and told, this is going to be it. And it's scary. That's why this is super important. These things are more than just beautiful things to look at. They are our lifeline out there. And so navigating by them is a life or death situation. If you are navigating with a incorrect chart or you're not reading your chart correctly, this can be life or death. This is why this stuff is extremely important. I'm sorry to get really sober at the end there. So this is a huge shift in everything. And then, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about your local chart, which I highly suggest you do get questions, go ahead and reach out to your local nav manager. They're a great person. Or I like talking about charts all day long, so go ahead and reach out to me too, just because I get to talk about charts. Oh, and a final thing, this is just for fun. I have a free challenge coin here from my ship, and if you remember what my ship is, you can go ahead and look it up. First person to send me a screenshot of my ship's local ENC and RNC, I got a nice, beautiful little challenge coin here for the first person that does that. You can find me on Slack. I think I have time for questions. Any questions? One question. Okay, good, no questions. Oh, no. I think I saw in the back, sorry. They're received. In all honesty, we are having a little bit, I don't think we've had it. I'm taking off my NOAA government hat right now. No, they've not been well received. There's a great quote out there, I can't say it off the top of my head, but you can make a map as detailed and as perfect as you want, like having all the important information on it. But if it's not beautiful, people don't use it. And ENCs are not beautiful. And they're on their way. You can use a custom chart to make a beautiful chart. We're fixing them, right? They're just a computer. We just got to make them look good. But no, people that are mariners love their chart, and you can take it from their cold, dead, oh crap, we already are. But yeah. Thank you everyone so much. Thank you for dealing with me.